Today is a very important day, and let me tell you why, okay? Today is the day that you and I are going to embark on a month-long journey to figure out the answer to one question, one singular question. Is Book 2 syndrome actually real? Now, if you don't know what Book 2 syndrome is, let me explain to you real quick what Book 2 syndrome is. It is a phenomenon in the multiple book series landscape. Essentially, so many words there that didn't make any sense really when they were put together in that specific way. Anyways, Book 2 syndrome is basically saying, is Book 2 as good as Book 1 and Book 3 in a series? Or is Book 2 as good as the other books in a series? It's usually meant for books in a trilogy, where Book 1 is a really good banger, Book 3 is the closer, so a lot of the times it can be really good, and Book 2 in the middle is like the middle child. And we all know what they say about the middle child. We are here, you and I are joined, not at the hip, but by our hands in a joint venture, not a conglomerate. This is not a buyout. This is none of that stuff. This is a joint venture. You know, see me pulling in that Masters of Accounting knowledge, business knowledge up in here. We are here to see, did Book 2 syndrome affect the books on this month's list? This month in April, I'm reading Book 2s of multiple series to see, did it hold up? Is it as good as Book 1? Or is it better? Or is it worse? Who knows? Now, if you can look at the bookshelf behind me, I've read a lot of Book 2s in my life. I've read a lot of Book 1s and Book 2s in my life. I've read a lot of Book 3s in my life. But every series is different. Every author is different. So you and I are going to find out together, did these four Book 2s really beat Book 2 syndrome, or did they fall prey to the phenomenon plaguing hundreds and thousands of book series across the globe? The first Book 2 that we are reading is Ruthless Vows. It is a continuation from my March reads because I couldn't get through it in time, but it is the second book in the Divine Rivals series. I believe this is a duology. Sometimes duologies are exempt from Book 2 syndrome because Book 2 is technically the closer. Book 1 was the opener, Book 2 is the closer. But we will still assess, did it actually hold up? The second Book 2 that we are reading is Defiant, Book 2 in the Songs of Chaos series. I read Ascendant back in January, absolutely loved it, loved the way it ended, gave me classic fantasy vibes, and that's really what I'm going for and hoping for in this Book 2. So you and I have to see, is it going to hold up or is it going to fall prey? Okay? Is it defiant? Is it defying the laws of Book 2 syndrome? You and I have to figure that out. You and I, us together, joined in this joint venture, have to figure that out. And by you and I mean probably me, because you probably haven't read that book yet, but it's okay. If you want to know how I felt about Ascendant, go back to the January video and find out. And if you're okay with spoilers, all I'm going to say is at the end of Ascendant, Ash and Holt got a quest from this big bad dragon dude that said, go to these 3 points in the world and find the other wild dragons and see if you can get them to help you in your cause. Old style fantasy quest. Fucking love that shit. I really did. I love that shit. The next Book 2 that I am reading this month is called Of Darkness and Light, which is part of the Bound and Broken series by Ryan Cahill. I read Book 1 of Blood and Fire back in January, along with the rest of these. I liked it. It was okay. Didn't really impress me that much. So we're gonna hope that Of Darkness and Light can really impress your boy, the fantasy extraordinaire. Because if not, well, we're sending him to the doctor because he fell for Book 2 syndrome. So let's see if it holds up. At the end of Book 1, we had just come out of this huge war, this huge battle, not the start of a war, this huge battle. And we're really looking to see where these main characters go next. We're really looking to see where Dan and the other guys go next. I don't suffer from Book 2 syndrome. I suffer from not remembering people's names syndrome. It is a very classic thing in this day and age. I blame social media. Now, the last Book 2 that we are reading this month is called Red Claw. It is Book 2 of Andy Pelican's Dragon Blood Assassin series. Book 1 was cool. Okay, it was cool. It was a little bit dark, a little bit actiony, a little bit shadowy. It was cool. Wasn't massively great though, but just good enough to make me want to read Book 2, even though the ending was absolutely awful and I hated the way it ended. That being said, let's see how Book 2 is. I'm assuming some sort of training arc for the individual who newly bonded with a dragon right at the end of book 1, but that doesn't mean it's going to be good. I will let you know if it's good. Okay? The first book had a really cool shadow magic, cool dragon, cool male MC, pretty cool female MC, and the female MC used a whip blade, which is like the coolest thing in the world to put as a weapon. So we're going to see, are there any more cool things in book 2? The last book that I'll be reading in April is The Crimson Fire. It is an arc of Abel Montero's debut novel. Abel Montero is a fellow booktuber, creator, really, really amazing supporter of the scene, much, much more than I do. Big props to him of supporting tons and tons of indie authors, and his channel is pretty dope. Would urge you to check it out. So I will be reading and reviewing The Crimson Fire. I hope it's good. I don't know what to expect from it. I've strayed away from a lot of like reviews of it because I love to go into books blind. I don't like having my thoughts influenced by other people. That being said, I will see if Abel's A Crimson Fire is good in general. Okay, there's no book 2 syndrome to be talked about here, but I did say that I would read it in April, and I do want to commit to that, so I will be doing that. That's the only book here that isn't part of book 2 syndrome. I should probably say, I know I should be working on Bane of Asgard, which is book 2 in Cinda Williams Chima's Runestone Saga series, but I really don't care about that book right now. I really don't. I think I'm going to have to set aside time for it in a month where I'm not busy to read it. I do not care about that book, even though it's a book 2. And I don't know, but I think it's falling prey to book 2 syndrome. I don't know. I'm just not vibing with it. So I'm putting it to the side. Those are all the books I'll be reading in April. You let me know what you're planning to read in April, what's on your TBR, and if you've read any of these series we talked about previously, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're reading right now. And if you want to hear more about my thoughts on books like this or other books, or if you want a free TBR template, join the Discord. It's in the link below. It's free. Join the book club. We're starting a monthly book club in April and in May, 2 separate book clubs. So if you want, join that. If you're new here, consider subscribing. If you're not new here, send this shit to somebody who you think would like this video. I will catch you guys later in whatever next week's video is.